Hello, I'm Richard Gisbert, and you've tuned in to Al Jazeera's Playlist. We're at the crossroads of the global fusion scene, ground zero for the sounds of the world's musical melting pot. On this week's menu, we've got a unique and ambitious blend of Cambodian and American rock. Don't be thrown off by the name, because Dengue fever is something special. And in part two, Marley meets Maori when reggae goes down under.
Well, I hope you don't mind a little bit of skanking.
The music of Jamaica striking a chord with New Zealanders. And we've got a sneak preview of some of the bands we'll be watching on the playlist. Throughout this series, we're going to be introducing you to artists who, first and foremost, sound good, and whose music also tells a story. This next band meets both requirements. Dengue Fever is a Cambodian-American collaboration. The band's music is an unlikely legacy of the Vietnam War in the 60s and early 70s, when the U.S. military's armed forces radio was bombarding Southeast Asia with the sounds of American psychedelic rock. Cambodians developed a taste for that sound, and they mixed it in with their own pop music. And that's what the first band we're featuring this week tapped into. Phnom Penh meets Los Angeles in the infectious music of Dengue Fever.
We were heavily inspired by the music from the 60s and 70s that was created in Cambodia, but we're doing our own thing.
Dengue Fever is a great, funky, groovy, psychedelic, romantic fusion that you just, once you've listened to it once, you just can't ignore, you can't go away from.
The Dengue Fever story began 10 years ago, when a musician from Los Angeles headed to the Far East.
Back in 1998, I went backpacking in Southeast Asia for about 6 months, and Cambodia was one of the countries that I visited. There was something about the Khmer rock and roll music that really caught my attention, so I bought as many cassette tapes as I could and gathered them up and brought it back to the States with me.
Back in LA, Holtzman hooked up with his guitar-playing brother, and together they went looking for a singer.
Next to LA, there's a city called Long Beach where there's a huge Cambodian population, the biggest outside of Cambodia. When we were looking for a singer, and we saw her perform, and I was just elbowing my brother, going, oh my God, we gotta ask her to come sing with us.
She was Chon Namol, and Dengue Fever was born. The band takes riffs and inspiration from Khmer rock, a genre from the 60s and 70s that was an unexpected byproduct of the war in Vietnam. Cambodians could hear radio stations the U.S. military set up for American soldiers. The Beach Boys, the Stones, and the Doors proved influential for Cambodian musicians, particularly 3 singers who remain hugely popular to this day: Sin Sisamuth, Ross Sarathea, and Pan Ron.
Ross Sarathea and Sin Sisamuth, Pan Ron, they are too important from Cambodian people. So all old people from 1960, they know about them. So they never forgotten about them. So they are the golden voice in Cambodia.
Sin Sisamuth, he wrote over 1,000 songs. He was really talented. He was kind of more like the Bob Dylan of Cambodia. He wrote a lot of the songs that Rosary Sotia would perform and Penron. So he would help with the music and the vocals, and then they would just sing on top of it, and they would do duets together.
However, influence and fame offered no protection from Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge, the communist movement that came to power after the Vietnam War. Sin Sisamuth, Ross Sarathea, and Pan Ron were all lost to the killing fields of Cambodia, along with 1/4 of the country's population. Pol Pot's genocidal regime targeted all kinds of artists, musicians among them. However, their music would outlive the regime.
I think the music that was recorded in the 60s, it survived. A lot of it was destroyed, but a lot of it made it to France, and people kind of collected it, and so it's been re-released. So everybody in Cambodia, the kids and the grandparents and everyone in between, they kind of know this body of work. They're familiar with all the lyrics.
Dengue Fever start singing like, rock and roll. And also we sing like our original song from 1960. I think it make like, I remember that last time we played in Washington, D.C. Old people were like, yeah, so great, you sound so great anymore. It's make me like think I'm Cambodia is in country right now. I say, yeah, I'm so happy to hear that.
Dengue Fever's story is special, but let's face it, if this cultural collaboration didn't sound this good, no one would really care. We certainly wouldn't be doing the story.
The Cambodian side of Dengue is really rich in melody. Cambodian music particularly has a very strong top line that you can trace back like about 1,000 years in some cases. So with that top line melody combined with the strength of the groove from the Californian side just creates this great blend that works really well.
The band has just released its third album, but Dengue Fever's career highlight has been the trip this mostly American band took to Cambodia in 2005. For the singer Nimol, it was quite the homecoming.
We went back to Cambodia and played a handful of shows, and Nimol had been gone for 5 years from Cambodia, and everyone was kind of expecting her to come back and be all like, Britney Spears kind of Americanized, but instead she like sort of, like Cambodianized us, like we all are playing her style of music. She got all these phone calls of everybody saying how happy they were that she was like sticking to her roots and playing and singing in Khmer.
Cambodian people, they live in Cambodia, they heard about Nimol enjoy with the Hollywood band. I say, it's not a Hollywood band, just American people, American band, but we still play Cambodian song. And a lot of people calling me, wow, I just say, you're so amazing. And also they happy to hear that sing Khmer language. Khmer songs, you sing the song with.
We sing a few duets where I
Since it's a mood.
try to sing in Khmer.
This band have reinvented something that was almost wiped out in the 1970s in Cambodia due to the war there, and they've taken that, reinvented it almost paradoxically back in America, and found this amazing singer and blended that together again with what was originally influenced and created an amazing thing. It's chemistry, we're all made up of different chemistry musically, and something will just work, and a fusion will happen. Something will just ignite and take off, and it's just a really special thing.
Dengue Fever. You can catch that item again on our website, aljazeera.net/English. Then click on Programs and follow the link for playlist. Once you land on our page, you'll be just a mouse click or two away from all of the music that we feature here on the program. Incidentally, if you're wondering who's responsible for the opening music on our show, it's an Algerian band based in Paris called Speed Caravan. We're using the title track from the album Kalashnik Love, which fuses Arab beats with tracks from some pretty well-known Western groups like The Cure and the Chemical Brothers. We'll be telling you more about Speed Caravan and other Algerian bands next week. After the break, New Zealand is half a world away from Jamaica, so what's with the reggae in the land of the Kiwi?